So you need to gain like 80 pounds. Shouldn't be able to tie your shoes if you're a power lifter.
Nothing any rotor.
I know. I like that, man. He's giving me shit. I like that. That was a fucking good one too. What you're about to see are clips taken from an event we created called Train Your Ass Off with Dave Tate. Two main objectives to this event with one overreaching goal. The two main objectives are to teach the best technique possible on one of the main lifts. In this case, it was the squat. The second objective was to be able to teach effort and intensity so they understand what training hard really is. And then from there, it's much easier to grasp and understand what training submaximally is. And then the overreaching goal of all this is for them to be able to utilize this information to make their training better and to have their lifestyle help their training instead of take away from their training. When's the last time you guys squatted heavy? A week? So nobody just like 3 days ago or anything like that?
Yesterday.
Okay, are you sore?
No.
Nowhere.
No.
You're not fucking bullshitting me. Okay, so you don't know how to train hard. Okay, so we'll fix that. All right, so I'm gonna have you all box squat. So who's box squatted before? Yes? Okay. I need to check your depth first. Okay. Okay, okay, sit back again. All right. Okay, good, next. Okay, next. You're gonna need a mat. The way, when I coach a squat, it's gonna be different than if I'm judging a squat, right? So if I'm judging a squat, it's different. If I'm coaching a squat or even training the squat, the majority of the training that I do, I want the hip joint to be parallel with the knee joint. So we're talking joints, we're not talking crease of hip, okay? We can deal with crease of hip as meat, becomes closer. Yes, there's a difference. There can be a big difference. It can be a couple inch difference. But just from my experience with developing strength, fixing technique, building technique, staying with the parallel of the joint to the knee, to the hip is the best route to go. I can get into the wear and tear and all the other kind of stuff associated with that. But usually if you start going and you try to match all year round, USAPL depth, for instance, you're gonna have things like butt wink problems and knees caving in and all kinds of issues like that never get fixed because you're always putting yourself in that compromised position for your body structure that forces those things to happen. Now you can train a little bit higher than that and still be able to go to that depth, but you need to train to that depth, 8 to 10 weeks out, right? A rule of training that I think a lot of people overlook is if you look at isometric strength development, right? You all know what isometrics are. So either you're pushing to a pin or you pull into a pin. It's a maximal effort type of movement. And it's a physical therapy movement as well. If you just did an isometric pull or press against pins, that working in that range will work within 10, actually I think it's 5 to 15, it depends upon the study that you're looking at. So let's just say it's gonna work 10 degrees plus or minus the range of motion that you're working at, all right? Which, when people ask me how I train around a lot of the injuries that I have, I don't go to threshold. I'll go to threshold to determine what threshold is. I'll come out of it 5 degrees. But by working 5 degrees out of it, I'm also working 5 degrees in it. You see what I'm saying? So as long as the squats are not like super, chopper, chopper squats, like super, super high, and you're within that 10 degrees, it's really just mental. The reason why there's going to be any kind of strength deficit, unless it's putting you, your leverages are putting you in a fucked up position, all right, which is the unfortunate circumstance with powerlifting and some judges. If you get a squat 4 inches below parallel, but your body's not really made to do that, my honest advice is you find a different federation. Why get hurt, if there's no way that you can be able to do that with the way that your body structure is. So training wise, some of you guys are going to be a little bit higher than others, but I'm trying to find that compromise to make things move a little bit faster, with the parallel being hip joint to knee joint. If it's somebody that's not a power lifter and you don't have to worry about that, I would always say hip joint to knee joint. Athletes sometimes even higher, depends upon shin angle and what you're doing. All of your, I assume when you squatted here, that was pretty close to how you normally squat, right? Okay, so we got one person that uses the monolift, everybody else walks out, right? Okay, so what I want you to do is just take the bar and do a couple sets of squatting the way that you normally squat, right? So everybody know how to work a monolift? Okay, I can show you how to do that. If I'm trying to fix stuff on your warm-ups, then you're never gonna get warmed up. Does that make sense? So if it's somebody you're trying to help with, are you walking out? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, if it's somebody you're trying to help with their squats and it's the first time, just let them warm up at least a few sets, just how they normally would. And don't even look for like the first two. Like I saw some shit I didn't really like, so I had to close my eyes, look away.
You want to make sure that they're good to go first.
Yeah, I want you guys to do 3 sets of your normal warm-up. Oh, God. God, just filming me is probably funny. That's better. Is that a cricket?
Well, no, I think it's a dust mite.
Oh, damn it. Like that would have been cool. I thought it was a cricket.
That's good.
Oh my God. Never felt so tall in your life, right? You guys starting to feel kind of right, squatting wise? Okay. I'm gonna start watching for things now. When I teach a squat, I teach it from the feet up. So ground up, so I don't look at anything except the feet for the first set. And I'm looking at like foot, knee angle, position, and seeing what's going on. See his foot's kind of like doing all kinds of wacky shit. So that's gonna be addressed before I can do anything else. Do you wear sleeves or wraps? Okay. You gotta try to sit back a little bit more. Your shin angle is kind of where you would typically see a shin angle be if somebody was wearing sleeves. And that's with your knee almost right in line with the start of the toe, right? Where if it's wraps, it's usually mid-foot, or actually you can get away with heel with that, but you're not gonna get away with heel because you're wearing, squat shoes, so it's gonna be mid-foot.
Because I never really honestly box squat, most of the time it's just normal squat.
Yeah.
Do you think the reason my angle is off is because I'm squatting on the bottom?
No, it'd be the same. I mean, I can have you try. We'll see what it looks like to be sure. But it shouldn't make any difference because the one thing I'm not going to really change a lot of is shin angle. The only reason I'm suggesting it is because you're going to be able to get more out of the wraps the other way. Okay? Where see his knee angle there is almost optimal for, actually it's optimal for full gear, single ply gear.
I'm a geared man trapped in a raw body.
It's all right, that's what knee wraps are for. All right, hold on. I wanted to see.
Box not there?
It's not there, no. I wanted to see if the shin angle's the same, just to test what you were saying. Yeah, it is. Right. So it's not gonna matter. All right, so what the box helps me with is corrections, because I can stop somebody in the bottom.
Right.
Like I won't do, I'll just show you. Like if I said stop, like from here I can say, okay, I want you to lean forward a little bit, arch a little here, then when you come up, force your knees out and act like you're coming up on a Smith machine. Optimally, that's where he's gonna end up squatting before I'm done with him in phases, okay? So just go ahead and keep doing. But I gotta get his feet working first. I can't do that if I don't have a box, because then I'm gonna say, hey, stop in the bottom. And all you're thinking is, fuck this. Then I'm gonna say, stop at the bottom, lean forward. You see what I'm saying? So the box isn't being used in this case as an aid to help training. It's as an aid to help technique to be able to, yeah. Okay, so his feet are not, well, that you just fucked that up, but just, I said foot and you fucked up, so just don't listen to me. Keep going. See, the foot's solid, right? Everything's pushing down at the same time. So for him, I can start looking up further, right? And so the next place I'm gonna look is gonna be knee to hip angle, which I'll look there, and there's a little bit of funky shit going on that I'll take care of in the next set, okay? Which will take care, it may change his shin angle a little bit, but based upon his strengths, not based because I'm trying to change the shin angle, okay? Okay, keep going. The better we roll, the easier it is for you because you're gonna stay warm. So you need to gain like 80 pounds. Shouldn't be able to tie your shoes if you're a power lifter.
But the 90s were over.
I know. I like that, man. He's giving me shit. I like that. That was a fucking good one, too. Okay. Okay. Fuck. Try to spread your toes like this, like wide, right? And then grab and try to turn your knee out. Like right now, try to turn your knee out. You know? Try to do this with your knee. All right, let's watch mine. Can you see mine? Can you see my knee?
Yeah.
See that? Mm-hmm. Do this. There. So here, grab, turn foot, turn knee. Okay, go. Okay, now see how his foot, do it again. See how it's grounded now and it's all pushing down from all points. Okay, he's a visual learner because every time I say something, he's looking at me, which means for me to really help him, I have to be here. Okay, so same thing. Grab, turn, knees. Good, okay, go ahead and rack it. So with him, I can start looking from knee to hip and move that direction as well. Remember guys, ground up is how I'm teaching. So don't get impatient. It takes time to get all the way up. Then we can start. And once we get to the hip, you know, once we start getting to the upper body, we gotta load. I gotta load, because load changes shit. Load isn't gonna change anything with the foot and all that kind of stuff. It certainly does with the back. and your walkout. We need to work on that too. Okay. Okay. So let's try the same cue I tried with him. Fuck. Wait. Okay. Spread, grab, turn, and then turn the knee out. Okay. So sit back. Good. There. Look at that. Damn, that's good. Yeah, good. There you go. All this is about, what we're trying to do is to create the best wedge that we can so if you got a door and you put a wedge underneath the door, like I can slip that in the door and it's gonna kind of hold the door, but what if I kick that fucker in there? Then that door's not gonna move, right? So the wedge, the bottom of the wedge is your feet, the top of the wedge is your back into the bar. So how do we create the best wedge into the bar? It's vital for all types of lifting. For somebody that's gonna pick out of the monolift, it's the difference between a fucking amazing pick and a pick that's like, oh shit, you know, because that's everything, because you gotta be able to not, you know, you gotta start. The monolift isn't as easy as people think it is to be able to.
I don't train in a monolift, but I have to compete in a monolift.
Then just walk it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, let me step back. When you go to the meet, does it throw you off?
No. I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't think so, but I mean, it's a lance.
I'm going to teach you how to use the monolift. Okay. So you can better use the monolift to be able to wedge underneath there. It can make a big difference, but it's not. I'm hoping it's not going to fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't do it when you're walking it out, right? But you can still walk out solid and then mentally, you know, act like you're getting the monolift. Okay. But either way, once you're set after your walkout, you know, you have to be able to wedge and be tight and braced for the transfer of power from your feet to the bar. Because optimally, you want this bar here to travel in a straight line on the way up, and see how it's going forward a little bit. That means that there's force coming this way and this way. There's force going places it shouldn't go. We want all the force to just go to this fucking barbell in a straight line and the shortest distance that it can actually travel. All right, anything forward, back, or anything like that, it's just a little whacked. So your feet have to be right to have the transfer of force into the ground. And then as we move up, this has to be right to be able to have the transfer of force to the bar. All right, go. Okay. Turn your knees out, just to stand up. Okay. Turn your knee, there. Keep it locked like that. So you should feel it here, right?
Yep.
Let your knee come back in again.
Okay.
Turn your knee in. So, do you feel that there?
No.
Turn them out. Feel it there?
Yep.
That's your cue.
Okay.
Okay, it's not your cue, but it's your feedback,
Okay.
right? So you don't sit down until you feel that tight. Got it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, now we got feet tight, everything's looking good between hip and femur, able to start going torso for him. Pretty much ready to go torso for everybody. What's that?
There's regular powerlift in there, right? For the marks?
Yes, yes. That's not a 90s thing. Actually, we did come up with the Texas squat bar, by the way. That is a 90s thing. Before that, everybody had to use, go ahead and squat. Before that, everybody used a regular power bar. I'm sure Kazmaier loved that. All right, hold on, let me get the box a little bit closer. No, the length inside here, yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you like it thick and long.
Me? Oh, yeah. Unless it's a deadlift. Then long and thin. You look good. We can start working on the torso.
Yeah.
No, Kazmaier had to squat in, just like a regular power bar with the whip. So that's why I have a hard time when people are like, yeah, man, back in the day when everybody used to have to walk it out. It's like, let me tell you about back in the day, because I competed, not in the 80s, right? The squat racks that we had to use were posts that were built into tires. So you had a tire on each side of the squat stand. So you couldn't just, like now, the way because I make them, the combo racks, you can just tilt in. So hell, you can just step. Some people have mastered just one step. It's like when you got fucking tires there, you got to lift up and then you got to step back to clear the tire, step back to clear the tire, and then out. And then, it's usually 4 steps, 3 at best, but you had to get back. Sometimes it was step, 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 because the fucking tire was in the way. All right, and then you had, I wasn't that big at the time, but you got Kazmaier, Matt Dimmel, and Dave Waddington, all these guys that, huge fucking squatters, squatting in what we would bench with today, like this, so you got the guys, Big Ray, he's still got to use a regular power bar because he's in the USAPL. I feel sorry for that big fucker. He's more flexible than you think he is because he's got to get in the damn thing. But if he was able to get into like a Mastodon or, the squat bar beyond this, he could probably squat way more. Yeah, but the negative that happens with it is this is a thick bar, so it's not as thick as a Mastodon or a Bulldog or a Passanella bar, the ones that are thicker. But the ones that get thicker for the lighter dudes or the women, fuck them all up because it feels like a fat bar to them. So it's rolling all over the place. So there's give and take, but there's no whip. Where in the USAPL, you get over a certain amount of weight, you're going to have whip no matter what the bar is. Where the USPA will allow a squat bar, so there won't be the whip until you get over a grand or whatever it is, and then there's going to be the whip. Yeah, but in a time though, I think it's going to go the same way that Multiply did with bars. The guys are going to get so strong that you're going to run out of room on the bar, and it's going to be whipping so bad they're going to leave the federation. Because that shit gets moving. Especially if they put the meat and they put it on a stage, which makes it even worse because now the stage is moving. You got to work. This time I'm going to pull the box out, okay?
Yep.
So it's gone. It's not there. You walk out. We got to lock this thing down. Okay. You're taking one extra step more than you need to. Okay? So. Step. There. Do you feel fine?
Yep.
Rack it. Do it again. Come. Step. Feel good?
Yep.
Rack it. Do it again. This time do it, and I'm not going to cue you. Nah, look at your feet, man. One's in front of the other one. Okay. Let's do it again. Ready? Go. Step. Good. Rack it.
Do I start my feet underneath?
I'm not going to cue you. There. Okay. Do it again to reinforce it. You got to take more time on the second step. The reason why I'm saying step, you rushed it.
Yep.
That's why it was a little off. Good. Okay, rack it. And then now we're going to go to the box. Focus on the feet. Remember, spread, toes spread, grab, flare knees out. Start making your mental checklist, right? Toes, knees. Okay, again, toes. No, don't lift your toes. Remember, you're spreading and grabbing. I don't want to see your toe come up. Again, toes. No, fuck, well, I don't know what you just did there. Well, that didn't happen. Toes, knees. Go. Good, okay. Don't get frustrated because we'll get it right. Like I don't want to move toward the torso until this shit is locked in. So you mentally have that checklist. If toes is the wrong thing, come up with something else. So it could be spread, turn. Like, you get what I'm saying? Spread, turn. Whatever works for you. And then let me know and I can cue it to you.
I'll hit that.
Oh, shit. Okay. Again. That was a little fucked up. Take your time. Yeah, you get yourself set. Good. Okay. Good. Right. Get your feet set. Knees. Stop. Okay. Here. Tight. Right here. Right here. Just arch a little bit here. A little more. See that yellow collar on the chin machine? Keep your eyes focused on that. Stand straight up. Eyes on the collar. There, good, okay.